Reports have been surfacing on social media of an ingenious act of deception by the Ukrainian army. Russian forces are said to have sustained significant losses and been held up for a considerable period of time by a heroic Ukrainian machine gunner who could not be defeated. The unknown Ukrainian soldier was manning a defensive position, and somehow withstood a withering hail of small arms fire, grenades and mortars from the Russians. After a fierce battle, the brave Ukrainian machine gunner was finally thought to have been killed, and the Russian troops stormed the position he was hiding in. However, they discovered to their horror, that the position had in fact been defended by nothing more than the turret of a BTR armored vehicle. That was being operated remotely by Ukrainian soldiers, from a safe distance away. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a major buildup of his country's military forces Thursday in an apparent effort to replenish troops that have suffered heavy losses in 6 months of bloody warfare and prepare for a long, grinding fight ahead in Ukraine. The move to increase the number of troops by 137,000, or 13%, to 1.15 million by the end of the year came amid chilling developments on the ground in Ukraine, fueling fears of a nuclear catastrophe. The Zaporizhzhia power plant in the middle of the fighting in southern Ukraine was briefly knocked out of commission by fire damage to a transmission line, authorities said. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the plant's emergency backup diesel generators had to be activated to provide power needed to operate the plant. Russia has put Ukraine and all Europeans one step away from a radiation disaster, Zelensky said in his nightly video address. The death toll from a Russian rocket attack on a train station and the surrounding area climbed to 25, Ukrainian authorities said. Russia said it targeted a military train and claimed to have killed more than 200 Ukrainian reservists in the attack, which took place Wednesday on Ukraine's Independence Day. Putin's decree did not specify whether the expansion would be accomplished by widening the draft, recruiting more volunteers, or both. But some Russian military analysts predicted heavier reliance on volunteers because of the Kremlin's concerns about a potential domestic backlash from an expanded draft. The move will boost Russia's armed forces overall to 2.04 million, including the 1.15 million troops. Western estimates of Russian dead in the Ukraine war have ranged from more than 15,000 to over 20,000, more than the Soviet Union lost during its 10-year war in Afghanistan. The Pentagon said last week that as many as 80,000 Russian troops have been killed or wounded, eroding Moscow's ability to conduct big offensives. The Kremlin has said that only volunteer contract soldiers take part in the Ukraine war. But it may be difficult to find more willing soldiers, and military analysts said the planned troop levels may still be insufficient to sustain operations. Retired Russian Colonel Viktor Murakovsky said in comments carried by the Moscow-based RBC online news outlet that the Kremlin will probably try to keep relying on volunteers, and he predicted that will account for the bulk of the increase. Another Russian military expert, Alexei Leonkov, noted that training on complex modern weapons normally takes 3 years. And draftees serve only 1 year. A draft won't help that, so there will be no increase in the number of draftees, the state RIA Novosti news agency quoted Leonkov as saying. Fears of a Chernobyl-like disaster have been mounting in Ukraine because of fighting around the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia plant. Ukraine and Russia have accused each other of shelling the site. In the incident on Thursday, the plant was cut off from the electrical grid, causing a blackout across the region, according to authorities. The complex was later reconnected to the grid, a local Russian-installed official said. It was not immediately clear from Ukrainian energy authorities whether the damaged line carried outgoing electricity or incoming power to operate the plant. But Zelensky's mention of the emergency generators implied that incoming power was affected. Incoming electricity is needed to run the reactor's vital cooling systems. Zelensky said Ukraine would have faced a radiation accident if the diesel generators had failed to turn on. He blamed the fire that damaged the transmission line on Russian shelling. But Zaporizhzhia's Russian-installed regional governor, Yevgeny Belitsky, blamed a Ukrainian attack. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons so you can be alerted to our next video. We'll see you again soon on Warzone.